Today is Sunday, September 1st, 2019. This is my first journal of fall senior year. To start this semester off, we're gonna reflect on preseason like we usually do. So I would say my preseason experience this time, being that it's my last, I think that it was a lot more hectic just because of we are severely outnumbered, and our communication skills kind of lacked this preseason. But once we got baselines and everything filed away and we started doing practices and things, I think that it went a lot more smoothly than it usually has, just because there aren't many students right now, so preceptors aren't relying on us to be there every day. So when we are there, we're greatly appreciated. But also, because I'm a senior and this is my last preseason, I know how to do more than last preseason and the preseason before that. So I feel like I'm more hands-on and I'm a whole lot more helpful than what I have been. My first year in the program was sophomore year, and we had, I don't remember how many students we had, but we had a lot of students. And I remember only doing clinical experience maybe 4 days out of preseason. And then last year, I think that if I remember correctly, I did clinical experience basically 7 days in a row, and then I got a couple days off, and then we started again. This year, I got to kind of pick and choose where I wanted to be based on whose schedule I could see and who asked me for help. I kind of like the way that we're scheduling now. I know that it wouldn't work very well with more than a couple of us. I feel like if it was a large number, like over 10, doing the same thing, I think that it would be a little overwhelming for preceptors. So the next question is, how do I feel? As in, do I feel different as a senior athletic training student? Yes and no. I still really don't refer to myself as a senior. No one really calls me a senior. I think that I know a whole lot more than I did. But I also feel the same, like I'm still in school, I'm still learning, process is still the same, so I don't feel that different. I think in the sense that I do feel different is because now I'm being asked about what I want to do after graduation and what I'm doing right now to plan for that, and also, thinking about where I want to be next year / the next couple years, and thinking about what skills that I'm going to keep and what skills that I'm going to perfect for that. The next question is, what and or who has helped me so far? Honestly, I feel like the schedule has helped me a lot. I like to really plan ahead. So I kind of like knowing what the next week looks like before it's just all sent to me at once. but I also feel like um, just a couple preceptors have helped me so far a lot, just because um, when we have downtime and stuff, they were quizzing me on stuff, making sure I knew things, It felt like they truly were interested in, what I want to do and why, and it feels really good for someone to buy into that. It kind of, well, not kind of, it made me feel, as if I'm not just a student. I know that I don't get paid and it's not my career because I'm a student and I'm just getting clinical hours. But I know that some preceptor attitudes are more towards you're a student, you're more for help, I'll do the evals. Um, but I do really like being in a setting where my preceptors trust me and my brain and my decision making, and we're comfortable with each other. And if I miss something or something needs to be tweaked, it's not an issue if I'm corrected. um, I think that I take criticism pretty well, but knowing that from a preceptor, it's helpful to me. Also, something that has really helped me coming into preseason this year is I made review binders from each year, hitting the high points and things that I've struggled with each semester. So coming into preseason, I reviewed those just to kind of brush up on some skills that I knew that I would need. The next question is, what has continued to be a hindrance? Honestly, something that really is hindering, I guess, not just me, but the group of us would be the number. There's two. One plays sports and I don't play sports, so my schedule is a little bit more free. So it's kind of expected for me to have more clinical hours. I feel as if I've kind of been stretched thin these past couple weeks. But I know that's all in me being kind-hearted and not wanting to let anyone down and say no and leaving anyone alone, because I know we all struggle through preseason. So I understand, because they feel the same way that I do. They feel it on a much more exaggerated scale than I do, because their hours are way more than me. I just show up for the practice. And they're there before and after and throughout the day and later that night. And there was one day that I did 2 practices in the same day and I just felt completely drained. After that day, me and my preceptor, we sat down and we were just kind of recapping, everything, making sure we had everything documented. And I just kept saying, I don't know how you do it, because it was a very, very long day. But yeah, I think us being very small, I feel as if everyone needs help and I want to try to help as many people as I can. But I found one week I maxed out on hours, almost. And I had to tell people no. And that's not something that I like to do. But it happened. I helped as many people as I could that week, I guess. How has my growth as an AT student influenced your interactions with patients and preceptors? Me growing as a student in the athletic training program, honestly, I feel like me coming in as a sophomore and me today is like night and day. I wasn't very vocal. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I feel as if now I'm both of those. I'm very vocal about how I feel, what I think. I feel that I'm very good about explaining why I'm doing certain things during an evaluation, or why I'm doing certain things as a treatment, explaining to my preceptor why I would choose one or the other. just because I know more, and I know that I know more, and I've read research about things, and had classes on things that we use all the time. So being in class and being a good student and absorbing all the information that I could possibly absorb to keep has helped me really be more confident, and being confident makes others feel comfortable usually. So I think that has definitely, made my interactions with patients better, and I feel that me and some of the preceptors are kind of on the same level. Not really, like, knowledge-wise, but I feel like I'm close to, being certified and having to know all the things for the tests and stuff. I'm sure there are gaps in my knowledge, but, we learn everything. We don't learn everything all at once. So we just continue to learn. New injuries, new illnesses come up, and we just research and try what works. So an example would be the day that I did 2 practices in one day. We had a lot of hydration/nutrition issues. And, knowing what I know from taking a nutrition class to actually being in those athletes' shoes going through preseason before when I was a freshman and a sophomore, I understood that, you're so nervous you don't want to eat. You're so tired and hot, you don't want to eat. It's hard to drink water. A lot of people don't like the taste of Gatorade. But just not knowing enough, and I definitely felt that way when I was an athlete, freshman and sophomore year. So all of the issues that we had were with incoming athletes. Just out of high school, some of them did not have an athletic trainer that they saw, really. So their education level on what they should be doing to take care of themselves in between was low. So I, told my preceptor I want to take this on by myself. And I did. And she agreed that I did a great job, and I gave the athletes, examples on what to eat, and, things that are easy to eat when you don't feel that good, and, how to hydrate correctly, and, recognizing the signs. And it was funny because they all thought that I was certified. And then I was like, no, I'm a student. And I got a lot of, good comments back from my preceptor about, maybe telling too much. But those are things that I was interested in coming into preseason this year. So those were the high points that we really talked about. And, building the bulletin board for preseason this last month, those are big 2 places that we talked about. And, put literature on the bulletin board. But I felt as if I didn't need any help, and I felt like I didn't leave out any gaps, and my preceptor totally agreed with me, which felt really, really good. But yeah, so preseason is over. Scary, it's already over, but yeah, so that is my first journal.